Hi everybody, it's me, Andrew Thornton. We're still here in Asheville. Last night we did the primering and the gessoing of these canvases. The goal is to make these into backgrounds. What we did is we used this product called Brush Show, and it's a company out of the UK. And what it is super concentrated pigments for making your own watercolors. And I'll open one up and kind of show you what it looks like.
You should show it with a piece of paper and water.
So I don't know if you can see, but they're kind of like granules like that. For this process, I don't know if I would recommend using it. Because what we did is we used a little bit sprinkled on wet gesso, and we thought the wet gesso would kind of tone down the color and saturation of the pigments. Unfortunately, the pigments were so super saturated that it bled through several layers, and so with these it may not look like anything super special, kind of like pastels, but really this is 6 layers of gesso and 3 layers of the golden heavy gel matte medium, so it bled through quite a bit. And so these were if we do use these brush shows in the future, what we're going to do is use them in alcohol inks, our own homemade kind of alcohol inks, and then we can control the saturation and the exact tint and shade of the alcohol ink. But they're kind of festive. We'll still do a couple washes with acrylic paints and highlight it. I still think they're a little too pastel, but eventually, you know, within the day that we have left, we'll kind of make it work. Also, if you've been following along on my Facebook feed, you all have seen that we had worked on some little miniature fruit babies. I had a couple questions on what these were made out of. And I work a lot with traditional polymer clay that you can get at any craft store, but this one is a little bit different. This product is called Bees Putty, and we use the plastic firm, and it's beeswax that's been mixed with polymer clay, and it creates a super sturdy kind of working medium that you can use to make miniatures. And to show you how sturdy, I mean, I was doing this all last night, so you can tell that it's sturdy. And there's little breaky parts too, that with regular polymer clay it just wouldn't be as strong, especially without an armature. So I'm really pleased with how well these turned out. What we're also working on is these little stuffed animal art dolls. Last time we were here, we drew out the design of the mandrake, or the root babies, and we had, if you want to see how to make these, go to the Make It Artsy website and check out Cynthia's segment on making art dolls, because she shows step-by-step how to make them. The example is a little bit different, but it's the same kind of technique. And they're pretty cute. Cynthia is working on the crocheted leaves right now. Actually, she's working on
painting the mandrakes, doing washes. It's a mixture of acrylic and water. So you add a layer and then wipe it off.
And what that does is it really brings out the details and the kind of recessed areas in the little creatures. And also it adds a lot of contrast. You'll see the shadows and the lights. And she's got a couple different mixes of paints. Now, one of the important things that I notice a lot when I look at people who just start out is they paint straight from the tube, which is perfectly fine. But what I find makes a little bit more successful piece is when you add just a little bit of another color to tint your own kind of paints. And it adds a real kind of a real depth of character, and kind of it doesn't look straight out of the tube. So we have a lot of fun with the mandrake image, or the root baby, and it's probably because we started with something called pareidolia. And pareidolia is when you start seeing faces in objects. And whenever we go out into nature, we always see little faces and things in the different forms. And even like in our photo libraries, there's this program that does facial recognition, and it will sometimes find faces in like trees and roots and all kinds of things. This is the piece that's coming up in the Allegory Gallery website. It's a piece that Green Girl Studios produces. It's made of fine pewter. It too is a root baby, and I love the little faces on there and how it's super cute. The bale is kind of hidden in the network of hair, which is fun. And another piece that's coming is a pufferfish. This is actually an older design. When we were kids, my mom used to go to the Oriental store, and that was the PC term then, and they would have dried pufferfish, and we would hang them up as decorations. And so this is kind of a representation of those little critters that we decorated the house with. Another piece that's coming to our Allegory Gallery Etsy page is this really lovely mermaid. It's a great link shape, and she's kind of reaching up and has this crown-shaped ring. And when we were kids, our mom used to have stories about the ladies who lived in the water, and it was something that always struck our imagination. And also we loved fairy tales and folklores, and one of the first books that was a chapter book that I ever read was The Peasant and the Mermaid, and that's I remember reading that, and it was a really cool book. This is another piece that's coming to our Etsy shop. It's this fancy poodle.
Sean Freeze.
And the inspiration behind that is our friend Katie Wall has a dog that's similar like that, and he's a very personable little fellow named Gus. And then here is a little sleepy kitty that we will have in the Allegory Gallery Etsy shop that Green Girl Studios makes. They're all there right now, so if you want to head over there, you can check them out. This guy, we've had a long love of cats, but I think this guy was made or inspired by one of our cats named Frick. And Frick was a very large ginger cat who was very plush, and when he would sleep, he'd kind of curl up like that, which is super cute. This one has a pretty ample hole, which is nice if you're going to use it with leather or wax linen or braided components, or if you're going to have it kind of slide loosely over maybe a seed bead kind of necklace base. And some of the other things that are going to be coming soon to our Etsy shop are these rings that Cynthia made. They're made of brass, and they're super cool. This one is of a Native American chieftain, and I just love it. It has kind of a she says it's a lady, so I automatically
Based
think of
on, like as early, well, like some of the women could be chiefs, like or chieftains, I guess.
I don't know if you heard that, but Cynthia said that the early Aztecs, the women could be chieftains, and
I think still in Native American there were some. I saw some imagery on the internet with like really amazing headdresses, and those are based on like the shields, like huge sterling ear shields.
and of course I think of Cher's half-breed when I when I see that. Another one is this really cool little octopus, and it's another piece that Cynthia Thornton created. She is a company, if you don't know, called Green Girl Studios. They're based here in Asheville, North Carolina. Cynthia is my sister and an artist, and is super talented. Right now she's doing a contest on Etsy. If you haven't voted already, I suggest that you do. If you go to either my Facebook timeline or Cynthia's, you can easily find the links to the Differences Make Us contest. We would super appreciate the vote. And she's going to do a giveaway. I'm going to take a break from the rings for just one moment and show you this really cool doll that she's going to give away. Isn't it super cute? She's got a little dress that's embellished with stitching. And what are those?
The Inktense blocks.
Inktense.
You can use in a watercolor style. And those can be ironed to make them washable.
And
so
she did a really cool technique where she did some paintings and then embellished them with embroidery, so it made the stitches stand out even more and created a really kind of interesting trompe-l'oeil effect, which was pretty cool. And Cynthia's going to show you the piece that she created. It's a thread painting.
well, this is actually more of this Inktense, but with stitching, so it's actually a lot less work. And also I did a piece here. Of course, this thing on my on the cuff, every time I catch it out of the corner of my eye, I would think there was something on my sleeve. So I try to brush it off.
Or put it on your face so it makes a nice Japanese facial. So back to the rings, we've got 2 more different styles that are going to be coming.
3 more.
Or 3 more. There's this this lion's head, which for me, I'm reminded of the Chronicles of Narnia in Aslan, which I love that movie with Tilda Swinton, and of course the books by C.S. Lewis. We've also got a really cool snake ring. One of the things that I love most about this ring is that it's adjustable. I think I spoke a little bit about this last night, about how if it's winter time and your hands kind of shrink, it can still fit. Or if you indulge in some salty delights, it will kind of accommodate that as well. You might have to bring a ring mandrel to make that happen, but as long as you're okay with a little stick in your pocket, then that's fine.
Is that a ring mandrel in your pocket?
Or are you just happy to see me? And this guy is a butterfly, and I really love the kind of iconography of the butterfly because it's a symbol of transformation and kind of the beauty that can emerge. And in a lot of traditions, it has a lot of deep meaning and symbolism, which is really cool. And what else did we have to talk about? Oh, this beverage, since it's in the warmer weather, we've been enjoying a lot of cocktails. And this cocktail is a mix of a shot of vodka, a little bit of Saint Germain, and ruby red grapefruit juice, and it's super refreshing and quite tasty. I was worried that I had indulged too much. But anyways, I think that's it for tonight. I hope you had fun joining us in the studio. Hopefully we'll do more of these videos, and please do let us know if there's anything that you're curious about, and things that you want to know. I can't promise that I'll tell you everything because I like to keep a lot of secrets to myself, and but I'm happy to share some things, and kind of give you a glimpse into our world and our way of making. So hope you have a great week ahead, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. We're thinking of doing one before we leave, so that you can see the lovely natural light in the studio. So see you then.